What's up, Jigs Guy here with a commentary today talking about all the new films and releases coming out in cinemas near you this summer. This summer, Jigs the Guy reviews a lot of films. If any of you remember, I did another one of these a year... Wow, was it really a year ago that I did... it'll be in the description, but just having one of those really weird reminisce moments. God, a whole lot of stuff happened this time last year, and that was an interesting time, but things are very different now. The music in the background is, the first song you're hearing is Eras of Valentia Alesso remix, and the second song, coming in about 4 minutes, will be Archie and Brenton Matthias, Kingdom, just in case you want to find those. And of course, like all the other music I use in my videos, links will be in the description to the relevant media outlets. Now, so the first film I'm going to have a look at here on my little list, probably going from perhaps top to bottom, as in, you know, starting with the least kind of anticipated personally films to the most. So, World War Z, it was based on a novel by Max Brooks, who I have read a little of his kind of literature and canon in this universe, and it looks interesting. I like the way he writes, and I'm not sure if he had anything to do with the script for this film. It's the first directing outlet by Mark Forster since his kind of misfire with Quantum of Solace. Of course, the preceding film, Skyfall, was a lot better than Quantum of Solace. I think everyone kind of agrees that Quantum of Solace wasn't exactly the best Bond film, but perhaps he can redeem himself here and score a hit with World War Z. It's got Brad Pitt in it, and essentially it is a zombie film flick. You know, it's one of those kind of... from the trailer, it looks a cross between like a Dawn of the Dead and the film 2012, where the guy's got to try and rescue his family from the impending doom and demise of humanity. That's going to be an interesting one to see. I don't think it's going to do that well, but I am interested to see, of course, how, you know, if Mark Forster can redeem himself. Now, after that, we have Kick-Ass 2, the sequel to the hit, I think it's been 4 years since it came out, so 2008 action comedy film with the guy from that series. Isn't it the guy from Juno, I think? I'm not entirely sure. But this, of course, has the... Well, Nick Cage was in it, and I don't want to spoil it, but he probably won't be in this one. Chloe Moretz, the fantastic child actor, who there was a lot of controversy because she swears a lot in that film, and she's only like 12. And this one also has Jim Carrey in it as well. I am interested and looking forward to seeing this. I'll probably go see this in the cinema if it is the same kind of release as last year's. It's kind of 2 parts comedy to 1 part gritty action drama. It's about essentially real-life superheroes. If you haven't seen the first one, I would definitely recommend going out and either watching it online or the physical copy, because it is a fantastic film and well worth watching. After that, we have another comedy entrance with The World's End, which is Simon Pegg and Edgar Wright's Cornetto trilogy conclusion, with honourable mention also to Martin Freeman in the cast, who I think is a fantastic up-and-coming actor, who he did a lot, well, like, what, he's been doing, what, 10 years work, maybe, as a British comedy kind of on the down low. He was great in the English and better version of The Office, and he wasn't bad in The Hobbit. I mean, The Hobbit was a bad film, but that's not because I could sit here and talk about films for hours. I'm a great listener of the Mayo and Kermode film casts. Great entertainment there. I don't think The Hobbit was a great film. Martin Freeman was not the problem with that film. Now, I don't know why I've put this one as 4th, when actually I'm a lot more excited for it than probably the rest of them, except for maybe the one after that. I'm so cryptic, I don't want to give it away. Man of Steel. It is the Superman reboot, but it's kind of different with a twist. They seem to be going through a stage right now in superhero films where they are more emotional, more gritty and darker, and I am certainly not going to complain. I like that a lot. I would much rather sit through that than perhaps one of the older Superman films, or one of the more recent Superman films, which was just a bit kind of action, America, patriotic kind of film. Backed by Christopher Nolan, he had a lot of influence with the storyline for this, and of course it's Christopher Nolan. Christopher Nolan, The Prestige, Memento, of course the Batman trilogy, which is fantastically well received. That's like number 7. No, sorry, not number 7. Well, no, that is number 7. 7th best film of all time, according to IMDb, which is a very male-centric, between the age of, what, 18 and 30 kind of demographic-orientated list. But still, I think those were fantastic films. The Dark Knight was probably one of the best action films made in the last 5-10 years. So I'll be interested to see how they do with Man of Steel. Of course, Christopher Nolan is not directing, he is a producer, which essentially means he backed the production. Obviously, that's what a producer does. Most of the time it is via monetary contribution, so they allow the studio to get off their feet and start the filming. But I believe he had a lot more of an influence in this film than most producers generally do. After that we have Iron Man 3, which is apparently a more emotional hit into the Robert Downey Jr. kind of centered action adventure comedy. Kind of, there's a little bit of this. There's slight comedic elements, and I'm looking forward to this a lot, only because of Robert Downey Jr. I love that guy. I would cuddle that man in a totally non-homoerotic way. I would take him to a sofa and sit with him and talk for hours, because he had one of the greatest career comebacks ever. And just watch this. I shouldn't have killed that guy right there. I'm sorry. You should be alive and I should be dead. But there we go. I take the bullet from the light machine gun afterwards. Anyhow, he disappeared between, what, like 1990 and 2000 to just do drugs and hookers, essentially, and managed to redeem himself by coming, I think, was his first comeback film was the biopic of Charlie Chaplin, which was it's an incredible production. It's a really good film to watch, and it shows a different side to Robert Downey Jr.'s character. But anyway, let's talk about Iron Man 3. Apparently he said it was his easiest role to play because that's just him in reality, and that's I think says a lot about the guy, and it's nice to have some kind of refreshing element to Hollywood and to actors, some with more dimensions perhaps than your, you know, normal relative everyday actor and or performer. Yes, so Ben Kingsley as the Mandarin in this. I'm not really sure what he's going to bring. I mean, it's Sir Ben Kingsley. I mean, come on, he's going to be fantastic in whatever role he brings. No Avenger team-up buddy system, though, this time. I think it's going to be, what, 2015, 2016 before we see the next Avengers film. So this is all Iron Man, all Robert Downey Jr. That's just exactly what you want. Because, to be fair, when you saw the Avengers, he was the star of that. Iron Man is just the star of anything he's in. Or, I should say, RDJ. After that, we have Star Trek Into Darkness, another sequel, a sci-fi sequel to 3 years ago, or was it 2 years ago? I'm sorry, my memory of releases and dates is not fantastic. It's been very, very secretive, actually, the plotline behind this film. From the trailer, it appears that Benedict Cumberbatch, fantastic actor, I believe he is also... was he even a stage actor in the same way? I think the best actors come from the stage, from the West End stage, that kind of thing. You know, David Tennant's a great actor. He does a lot of stuff there. I wanted to say Jean-Luc Picard, but of course Patrick Stewart, fantastic theatrical man. But yes, the plot's been kept very secret. Benedict Cumberbatch seems to be some sort of super intergalactic terrorist who destroys Earth a little bit, and then they have to chase him, and they'll catch him, and stuff will happen with the guy from Heroes as Spock, and all that good jazz. And finally, this is apparently, according to this list that has probably not been thrown together in the best way, Asylum, and I hope I pronounced that right. Neil Blomkamp's, I believe, the latest film he's done since District 9. I'm not entirely sure, but District 9 was a great film, really well made. Interesting allegory of persecution and apartheid in South Africa, but it's got Matt Damon. Come on, a bold Matt Damon. So that's another thing to look out for. Matt Damon. I think that's how you pronounce it in a mocking manner. But anyhow, yes, those are my most anticipated films of 2013. I think in next weekend, actually, or maybe even this weekend, I'm going to go see Iron Man 3. I'm looking forward to that a lot, because for some reason, us guys over here in the UK get it released a few days before our American friends across the pond. So I will be tweeting out spoilers and all kinds. After saying that, no, I'm just joking. I'm very spoiler conscious. Now, tell me in the comment section below, what other films are you looking forward to? What do you think was, well, obviously once you've seen them and come back to this and have a look, and whether your predictions for what's going to be the biggest hits of the year, were they correct? Or were you wrong, sir? But I think, looking at this list, World War Z, I don't think it's going to do that well. Kick-Ass 2 is going to be as good as the first one. The World's End, maybe a hit or miss. Man of Steel is going to be good. Iron Man 3 is going to be the same, but slightly better than Iron Man 2. About as good as Iron Man 1. Star Trek Into Darkness, going to be a good sequel. J.J. Abrams doing what J.J. Abrams does with all the lens flares and stuff. And Asylum, I think it's going to be a good film, but it's going to have a bit too much on the art house side, and I don't think it's going to be critically acclaimed, and I don't think it's going to get the recognition it deserves. So, tell me what you think. Leave a like, rating if you enjoyed, and subscribe for more mindless words from me.